Alright, so here's a quick little update on the race car. This is the 2014 Ford Focus ST. I did cut a little bit of the frame rail off a parts car that I have here, and I've got everything mocked up. Just need to get welded. I did put a few self-tappers just to hold everything in place so I could transport it to the shop and get it welded. I do have a welder here, but it's a Harbor Freight welder. It's not going to hold this main section of the frame. And I'm going to have a seam here and then one over here. So I sort of staggered it to make it stronger. Everything's lined up. Everything checks out with dimensions. So all I gotta do is just get this thing out of here, put it on the trailer, and take it to the shop to get it welded. I'm not the best welder, but I'm gonna attempt this because it doesn't have to be flawless. It just has to be held together. Anyways, the engine is still out because it's going to be easier to weld, obviously. But while I have the car here, this one does have the nice Recaro seats that I would like to keep just in case I do lose the race. I'm going to have to give up the car probably, so I'm going to go ahead and take these seats out because I have another 2014 Focus ST here that's going to go for sale. It's got some nice wheels on it, brand new tires, and it does not have the Recaro seats, unfortunately. So the Recaro seats coming out of the race car is going to go in this car, front and rear, and I think it's going to make this car look a lot better, basically turning this thing into an ST3. That being said, let's go ahead and open up the back and see what's all back here. I do see a partial bumper from the front. Hopefully it's somewhat usable that I can use it. If not, I'm going to run no bumper because the bumper is going to be expensive and that's not in the budget. So I need to go ahead and give this thing some power so I can open up the trunk, and that way I can get the seats out. That should give it some power to get the trunk open. Nope. See if we hit the button. Nope. What? Oh, no PCM, I guess, no power. That's not gonna be good. That's kind of weird because usually if I have a roller like this, I just give it some power with the booster box and I'm able to open the trunk or lock unlock the car, but I'm not getting any power anywhere. I'm not sure what it is. I would like to open the trunk because I just peeked back there and it's like full of trash. And I should be able to get the rear seats out without opening the trunk. I should be able to, but if not, then I'll have to somehow get the trunk open. I don't know. But let's get this bumper out of here. Well, the bumper has seen better days. It's actually missing like a quarter section of the passenger side, which is understandable. That's where the car was wrecked. So, I mean, there's still usable parts like this side fog light, the trim, the ST badge is sort of survived, and then the emblem, and then the wiring, or half of it. I just realized I am getting power because I just closed the door and the rear taillight came on. But this taillight is on too. I don't know what's going on. Some kind of short going on at the moment. But that's weird that the trunk won't open. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this booster box before I have a small fire again. So I got the front seats out. They look pretty good. The driver's seat has a little bit of normal wear here for a 2014. That's not bad. So I'm just gonna clean them up a little bit before installation and they'll be good to go. One cool thing about removing the seats out of a car is you find some cool stuff, like random key, a Cobb tuner, which feels empty, but we'll open that in a minute. Some safety glasses, a cheese stick, it's probably still good. Whoa, that's cool. It looks like a pretty cool lighter. Yeah, that's real cool. We're gonna see if that works in a minute. Let's unzip this tuner. Yep, unfortunately, the case is empty. Oh, that would have been cool, but hey, I guess free case for something. Here's a turn signal lever. But yeah, so, and then there's a bunch of change usually. I just don't see how people just drop stuff under the seat. That's how mice get in your cars and start chewing up your wiring. So just don't eat in your car if you can't eat normally. But anyways, it's always best to pull the seats out if you're trying to detail a car, because there's no way you can get under there and get any of this stuff with the vacuum cleaner. It's a pretty cool pen. Alex, oh wow, that's nice. Yeah, so gonna go ahead and get the back seat out. I'm not gonna focus on cleaning this car yet because I'm more focused on that red one because it is going up for sale, and this one will be around for another few weeks. So let's get the back seat out and then move on to the red car. So I got the Recaros installed and the red Focus ST, and it just changes the whole interior. I love the Recaro seats. Some people don't like them, but man, they're not as comfortable for like long trips, like a 10-15 hour drive, I guess, because I mean, this just gets in the way. But like if you're just going on a quick drive around town and some curvy roads, which we have around here, they're amazing. Recaro's the way to go. But got them all installed, including the rear seat. She's ready to go to a new home. But anyways, once I have that welded, I can seam seal it and then spray some paint on it just to prevent it from rusting, and then I can put the engine in. That way this car is going to be a run and drive, and I can actually move it around with no problems, because I mean it is light without the engine, but it sucks pushing it back and forth. Alright, got the car here on the trailer, brought it to Altec, and got the welder, everything hooked up. I got some light over here. I just gotta do a couple of welds here and there, and then that'll be it. So let's get the welding. Well, halfway down with the welding, pretty much on this side it's all pretty secured. Here it's done, over there. And guess what? The wire ended. And I don't know if there's any more here. If not, I'm gonna have to come back, because the most important part is on this side here, and then a little bit right there, which are just spot welds. But this right here, I need it strong. All the other spot welds, I could just use my Harbor Freight welder, but damn, that sucks. Back at the house, Harbor Freight welder for the win. Let's get this thing welded. Alright, here's the deal. I got it all welded and seam sealed. I actually used panel bond to seam seal it because I didn't have any, and this stuff is so strong. A guy literally picked up his truck with a crane just with seam sealer. So it's going to be super strong, plus it covers up my ugly welds. All that's left is to get this engine back in, and then we start test driving and see how it does. Everything's lined up. As you can see, I just removed the front crash bar and all that, and everything lines up. Everything is squared, should be good to go. The wheels look pretty straight, but once I get the engine in and lower the car, may need to get alignment. I think it's best to get alignment after it got hit right there. The subframe is in place. The control arm is the only thing that was bent. So let's just get this thing installed and start test driving. So I got the exhaust or the downpipe welded up, ready to go. The welds aren't the best, but it is what it is with the Harbor Freight welder that I have here. So this thing is ready for install. Honestly, I don't know how this previous owner was driving this car. He had a crazy exhaust leak. He had like 3 or 4 vacuum leaks, so he wasn't building any boost. This thing was probably barely moving. Also, check this out. Remember that red Focus ST? I stole the seats out of this one, the Recaro seats, and I put them in the red car. But the red car had this crazy looking intake, air intake, that goes down there and it goes sort of behind the windshield. So, I mean, technically it should be getting colder air. Should sound cooler too on the inside. I didn't like it on the car, on the red car, because when you sell cars like that, you want them pretty much almost 100% stock, if not 100% stock, because people buy these and they want to modify themselves. So took this intake off of it. I feel like that was a fair trade for the Recaro seats, and I got this out of it, so I think that was a fair trade. That being said, let's put this downpipe on, put the intake on, and then throw a battery in it and go ahead and start it. We know this thing ran earlier, so it should run. Now, is the transmission in good shape? Will it have all 6 gears? I don't know. Haven't driven this thing yet, so we'll find out shortly. Let's see if this thing runs. No seats, bunch of trash. Keys right here. Gonna cycle the ignition a couple times. Well, that's a problem. I think there's supposed to be a plug here because this vehicle doesn't have a hose going there. So, which is cool because it's gonna bleed the system real good. But we do have one going there. The heater core is deleted. Got one going here and on this side. This side, however, just needs a plug. No big deal. Nope, need a better clamp. There we go. That should be way better. Alright, I think we're good. Oil pressure and the temp is all good. Oil pressure is really good. And then temperature went up to halfway. Pretty sure it's good. There is no heater core. I deleted that, so hopefully that helps. But stay tuned and see if this thing drives. I can't believe it's got a full tank of gas showing 460 miles to empty. That's crazy.